Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tinesha Davis. This is Fun and Budget, and this is another epic episode of Battle of the Budgets. Okay, y'all, in today's episode, this is really like a three-way collaboration between myself, my opponent, Rochelle Adamson Budgets, and the person who has allowed us to come and battle over her budget. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at saving with Caprita's budget, okay? And Caprita is a single mom of 2 boys, and she has graciously sent us her information. That is her income and the expenses that she has to pay every single month, okay? Now in this video, what I'm gonna do is my take on her budget. And if you head over to Rochelle Adamson's page, you're going to find Rochelle's take on her budget. And this is simply to show you that budgets can be worked in all kinds of ways, okay? No 2 budgets are going to be the same, and a budget really is personal and unique to you, your goals, and your lifestyle, okay? So in this video, I want to thank Caprita for trusting us with her information and letting us take a look and go back and forth over her numbers. Now, okay, so Caprita's income for the month of January is $3,375, okay? So we're going to go in, and the first thing we're going to talk about is her fixed expenses. And the fixed expenses are generally the expenses that you have every single month. They really don't change. They may vary a little bit when it comes to something like your utility bills, but for the most part, you know that you're going to have this every month, and you know that they're going to be roughly about the same thing every single month, okay? So let's talk about this. The first thing here is her rent. Her rent is going to be $12,050. And then if you look over into this left-hand corner, you see that she has $2,125 remaining in her budget, okay? So the next thing is going to be her utility bill, and her utility bill is $200. And I am rounding this off. I'm giving us a general estimate because as we see, I did some research. In September, her utility bill was $216. In November, it came in at $196. December, it was $185. So I'm going to put about $200 right there. And if it's a little under, the money that it comes under can be used somewhere else, okay? But I'd rather have it be higher than we anticipate rather than it be lower than we anticipate. So $200 should be pretty safe for us. Water bill is $100. The internet is $118. And I said that this is a little high, and I'm wondering why. Caprita, why is the internet so high? I know you said that you don't have cable, and basically, yeah, this is just your internet fee. And I'm just wondering, because like where I am, I have like the fastest speed internet that I can have in my area, and that is $85 a month. So yeah, so I just want you to take a look at that bill and see, is there anything else that's being added into that bill that you can possibly do away with? Yeah, so let's look at that. And then we also have cell phones. She has cell phones, 4 phones on her cell phone plan. So it's $360. And this is very high. And I know that you have 4 lines on your plan and that you are also working to pay off some of the equipment. Now I have another question here. My question is, how much of this is your monthly bill and how much of it is your fees for your month-to-month of paying off the different phones that you have on it. Break that out, because honestly, the balance that you still have left on paying off the equipment, the physical phones, is actually a debt. So I would like to see that moved into a debt category so that we can then decide what we can do to actually speed up the process of paying off those phones so that your phone bill can be something more manageable. So we have $1,347 left. You have a car note. Your car note is $490. And then there is car insurance to the tune of $205. So after all of that is left, you have $652 left. If we take a look at this, your fixed expenses take up 81% of your income. Just want us to take that in a little bit. Caprita. Like, you know what, guys? Honestly, this is not even a battle anymore. Like, Rochelle, I'm not battling you, girl. I just really want to talk to you, Caprita. I just want to give you some advice. Some advice. When we look at your fixed expenses, it pretty much takes up everything that you bring in for the month. So I would say one thing we should look at, one thing we should kind of start trying to figure out here is how can we lower some of these expenses? How can we lower them? And I would take a look at the internet. Do you need to pay $118 for your internet service? What are you getting with your internet service? Why is it $118? What are the different packages that your provider offers? Honestly, I want to know that. I say in my home, I have the fastest speed internet, basically because it's a luxury. I did not start off with the fastest speed. I actually waited till I was out of debt, and then I moved up to the fastest speed after I was out of debt, right? And then I moved up, and I also waited till I actually had my emergency fund fully funded. I actually moved up to the fastest speed. I believe it was like within the last year or two, I moved up to the fastest speed. And the biggest reason for me moving up to the fastest speed was so that I can upload videos to YouTube faster, because I do produce a lot of content. Caprita has a channel, is Saving with Caprita, and again, I encourage all of you guys to go over there and to subscribe and to give her some support. But right now, Caprita, I noticed that you put out about 1 to 2 videos a month, so you really don't need the fastest speed to do that. So yes, I would encourage you, I would beg you to possibly lower the speed of your internet service. Again, I really am curious to know what packages you have here. The other thing is the cell phones. Again, I don't know how much of this $360 is your actual bill and how much of it is you paying for phones that you haven't fully purchased. We got to look at that, because $360 is super high. And again, a $500 car note is really high as well. Not sure if there's anything you can do about that. Not sure. Not sure if you can turn the car in and get something a little less expensive. I'm just asking these questions. I'm putting these questions out there so that you can possibly ask yourself these questions. Like, what can you do to bring these things lower? To bring them lower, okay? Before we look at your unfixed expenses, and that's like the groceries and gas for your car. And again, like right now we're looking at the car is about $700. And then if we factor in gas that you may need month to month, we're talking about it could be up to $800 a month on just a vehicle, okay? But before we do that, let's talk about your subscriptions. Okay, so for subscriptions, right here we have Apple Music is $6 a month. And again, I'm rounding these numbers off. Amazon Music is $8 a month. And let me move Prime up here. And again, I'm doing all of this in every dollar. It's one of Dave Ramsey's apps. So I moved Prime to come right up underneath here. Prime is $13 a month. And the reason why is because I want to show you that $27 a month right now you're spending on things that do the same thing for the most part. We know that Amazon Prime comes with music, but you're also paying for Amazon Music for $8 a month. And then you also have Apple Music. So I'm going to say get rid of, honestly, you can get rid of Amazon Prime and you can get rid of Amazon Music. And you can keep Apple Music. And I say keep Apple Music because this one you actually get with the student account for your son. So it's only $6 a month, okay? But you don't need 3 different things that give you music. And with Amazon Prime, again, I listen to your videos, so I also know that you also said that you probably don't need it. And then you said, but your son uses it. Well, your son doesn't have to get his stuff in 2 days, honestly. Honestly, some sacrifices have to be made because, let me pull up my calculator. $13 times 12, $156 a year. So you're not getting free delivery at $156 a year. You've actually prepaid for delivery. So I would say Amazon Prime, Amazon Music, it can go. And I'm only saying it can go because I know I heard you question in one of your videos that you could cancel it. I heard you say that. And so I'm confirming that, yeah, you should probably do that. That would be a good idea. Okay. And then there's Disney Plus for $15. CVS Care Pass is $5 a month. Here's another thing with this CVS Care Pass. Now I'm not familiar with CVS Care, the pass. CVS Care Pass. Now, I did hear you say in your video that you pay $5 a month and they give you a $10 a month coupon to use in the store. Now, I did not find evidence of that because I went and I researched CVS Care Pass. So I did not see anything that said for $5 a month, we'll give you $10 a month. So I'm not quite sure how that works. But I do want to say that's fine and dandy, especially if you're going to use it for things that you would typically buy and not just have this $10 coupon that is really $5 and then you just go in the store and you buy stuff that's not needed because you feel like you have like a free $5 to spend. And then ultimately you can also end up spending more money. I find that sometimes people, you know, because again, if a store like CVS says, hey, I'm gonna give you $5, they're actually paying you $5 to lure you into their store because they know that the average consumer, once they get you in the store, will end up spending more. So I just say be mindful of that. The other thing I noticed when I researched CVS Care was you can actually buy the annual fee. You can buy it by the year for $48. So $5 a month is going to be $60 a year. Or you can pay for the annual thing and save yourself $12 at $48 a month. So just consider that. Because we are here where every single dollar matters. Every dollar matters. All right. And then you do a subscription for PlayStation 4 for $10 a month. Okay. And this will bring our subscriptions to $57. Again, I would ask myself, what could I cut? Because right now we have $595 left to play with. Now, before I go back to, well, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So you have $595 to play with. But like I said, if we get rid of Amazon Prime and if we get rid of Amazon Music, this gives us some money back in our budget. We have $616 to play with. I'm going to say we get rid of Disney Plus. Nobody needs Disney Plus. Y'all seen all the movies already. That's $631 to play with. And I know you have the PlayStation 4 subscription for your son. Y'all, my son will just have to try to find a way to come up with that $10 on his own. So I'm going to say if we get rid of that, we have $641 to play with, right? So I'm just saying, think of these possibilities because we need money back into our budget. I'm not going to preach too much. I was about to go into a story about what some wealthy people do and what they won't buy, and that is a big key in how they built their wealth. I'm plugging these numbers back in, because right now this is where we're at and this is what we buy. Okay, so again, with all of our subscriptions, we have $595 left in our budget. Now let me go down here to debt, because you do have a payment that comes out automatically to the tune of $380, and that is for a personal loan. So look at that. So once I put in that $380 for the personal loan, we have $215 left. I would love to have more details on the loan, such as what's the interest rate that you pay on the loan, as well as what's the balance on the loan. $380 a month is kind of high. It's kind of high. So not knowing the details, like I don't know, like can that be negotiated? And I'm only saying that because you guys see we have $215 left to the budget, y'all, and we haven't even eaten yet. We have not even eaten yet. We have to lower these expenses. I know Caprita's big goal is to get out of debt. Her debt is this personal loan. Her debt is the cell phones. Her debt is the car. Her debt is, she also has 2 other credit cards, and I believe that they're paid off, but she says, all right, Caprita, I know you said that you make purchases on the cards to keep them open, right? But I'm going to say this. You don't have to make purchases on these cards to keep them open, because you have things that you can actually pay with the cards and then use your cash to pay off. And the things are your subscriptions. If you have a $10 subscription for a PS4, $15 subscription to Disney Plus, that's $25 right there that you can use one of your cards to pay. And then you can pay that off. My question to you is, do you ever use these cards just to make your ends meet? So I'm not putting anything on these cards right now, because technically, whatever you use these cards for and you pay them off, you pay the balance off at the end of the month, that stuff should be coming out of your budget elsewhere. Credit card doesn't get a budget. Credit card, you know, we don't get a $50 limit for credit cards just in case we spend on it. No, we pay that off because we've already accounted for that stuff in our budget somewhere. So the same way that the CARES Pass and the Amazon Prime and all of that stuff is accounted for, if you use your credit card to pay those things, then you're going to use the cash that you set aside for those things to pay on those cards, okay? Now let's go back up. With $215 left, we still have to put some, we got to eat for the month. And we need gas for the month. I'm going to put $50 for gas. I'm not sure if you work outside of the home. I did hear in one of the videos where you were saying that you didn't use a whole lot of gas because you really didn't go too many places. And in 1 month, you had set aside $100 because your son, who's in college, was coming home and you knew that he was going to use the car and drive around, possibly needing more gas. Well, I say to that right there, we don't have money for that luxury. We don't have the money for joyriding in the car. So right now there's $50 for gasoline, and this leaves us $165, and we're going to put that $165 on food because we have to eat. You have 2 boys, and I know boys eat more than me or you would eat. So I'm not even sure how that works. But I do know that you stockpile and you coupon and you use rebate apps and things like that. So that is absolutely awesome. I also know that at one point you was looking at playing around with the different sinking funds and stuff like that. And then you had to think about it like, you know what? It just doesn't work for your budget. And you are a woman after my own heart, because I'm not a fan of sinking funds. I'm not a fan of all the cash envelopes. I'm not a fan of any of that, especially when you have debt, because I do feel like if you can fund an envelope, which is just a glorified spending account, then you need to put that money towards your debt. So awesome that you feel the same way. But I'm going to say what we have to focus on. What I would focus on if I was you is side hustles. You have to bring in some more moolah. You have to bring in some more moolah, and I'm going to show you why. Right here, we put money into all of our fixed expenses, our necessities. We put money into some subscription services that are not necessities, but they're there. And we put money into our debt. And we barely had enough money to put into our living, like how we're going to eat, how we're going to get around. But you know what else? What does the household need? There's no money for the household. What about personal things that pop up? Toiletries, clothing, you know, things that your son may need, who lives in the household and things like that. What about miscellaneous, the little things that just happen from month to month? What about savings? We don't even have anything here for savings. And what this tells me is if we don't have any cushion for these basic necessities, because that's not even fun and entertainment, but if we don't even have any cushions for here, this leaves a recipe for disaster. We have a recipe of having to use our credit cards to bail us out, or not paying some of our other bills so that we can pay the other things that may pop up, right? So this is where I said, if we had a side hustle or side hustles and found a way to bring in at least an extra $300, what could it do for us? An extra $300 in side hustles. And there's so many ways to make $300 in side hustles. So many ways. And you may already do these things. I know that you told us that your income is just your income and it doesn't include side hustles. So I'm not even sure what you make or what you possibly make or what you could potentially make in side hustles. But I'm going to work with $300. If I had an extra $300, this is what I would be able to do. I would move the groceries up to $200, which is still fairly low. Well, it would be a full-time household of two, you and your one son, and then you have your son who's in college who also comes home from time to time, right? So $200 there. I would keep the gas at $50, but then I would have $50 in the household for things that the household needs, toiletries and such. And then I will also do $50 for personal money. And then we'll do $50 for miscellaneous. That would be our cushion. That would be for the things that are unexpected that may or may not come up. And then this leaves us with $115 that I would actually put into savings. And the reason why I would do that, put that much in savings, is because if we don't build up an emergency fund or some sort of savings account, if anything pops up, it's going to have us sink further into debt. So that's what I would do. And this will have us an every dollar budget, but only if we bring in extra income for the month. So there you have it. That's my plan. That is what I would do if I were you for the month of January and beyond. I know I feel like this video was a little heavier than the normal video, but honestly it's because I just really looking at everything, wanted to give you, Caprita, some really good advice that you could really use and some steps that I think could go far into changing this whole situation around. Again, I just feel like with the side hustles, we're going to start off with $300 and then it gets to move up and it gets to move up and it gets to move up. If you have any other questions, I'm going to direct you to RochelleAdamson.com, where she actually offers some plans where she can actually work with you one-on-one as a money coach and as a guide every single month. Okay, it's a service that I think is well worth it. And again, I look at these subscription services and, you know, and we'll pay the $10 a month for some music $13 a month to play some games, $15 a month to go shopping. Well, let's pay something a month to pour into our lives, to invest back into our lives, so that we can actually change the trajectory of our life around $1 at a time. Until the next time, guys, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. If you want to consider having your budget battled over, hit me or Rochelle Adamson up. And don't forget to check out Rochelle Adamson's page and see what she did with this budget. And go over to Saving with Caprita to see what she thinks about our overall plan. Until the next video, guys, I'm Tinesha Davis, and this is another episode of Battle, or not so much of a battle, of the budgets.